Head over to miniaturemarket.com where they have thousands of board games at discounted prices like Hickory Dickory. Hello my friends, it's the Game Boy Geek here. Today we are going to be mice doing a royal scavenger hunt. We're going to be jumping on clock hands and riding those hands around to the spot we want to jump off and delivering different things, getting points in set collection. Today we take a look at Hickory Dickory. Beautiful game from Plaid Hat Games. It's for 1 to 4 players. Takes 1 to 2 hours to play. Let me show you how it's played. I'll see you on the other side. In Hickory Dickory, each player is going to get a set of mice, and they're all different. They all have different special abilities and such. Over the course of the game, you're going to be going around the clock, taking actions, getting different resources of tiles, placing them on your mice, and at some point, delivering them to your hunt board. You'll be getting points for these, but you'll also be trying to get the right ones. This actually is a wild. I could put it anywhere, because at the end of the game, every row and column filled is going to be an additional 5 points. You're also getting points when you deliver those. That's what you're trying to do. Move your different mice around, get resources. That's the main way to get points in the game. Now here's the main board set up. I'm going to pull it closer in just a moment because with the way it aesthetically pleasingly is set up, it's a little far away to see some of these actions. And let me show you why, because down here is a very clever and thematic thing because you're looking at a cuckoo clock, and at the bottom of the clock has the little weights, just like a real clock. One of the ways to get points in this game is to be moving up this track chain at a time. Now, as you're able to move up this track by taking different actions, you'll actually be 1, 2, 3, hopping over people, getting points here and here. But if you ever get to here, very interestingly, you'll get that many points, 9. This person resets and the weight gets pulled up and you get less and less. A very awesome, thematic, and beautiful way just to do a little bonus score track. However, the rules say that you can place this off to the side, which is what I always do, even though it looks great here. It just makes the board way farther away from everyone's hands than it needs to be. So here we have the main board pulled a little closer. We're looking at the clock. The game is 5 rounds long. It will end once we get to the 5th hour, which will essentially get the game to midnight. And so that's how the game's gonna go. Each one of these is a round, and this is an interesting worker placement Rondel mechanism. Now I have it set up for 3 players. This little piece here isn't usually here it's set up, but I'm gonna use it there to show you how the game works. So at the beginning of the round, this is going to go like this to the next minute hand. So we're at 7:05 here. And so any player or players that are on the hand can decide to jump off. Now it's always in front to back. There's only one player there. So this player could decide to jump off. They would jump to the outer ring, take this resource, and or take this action. Sometimes the resource is already taken from someone else and you won't be able to take it. But anyone that goes here can always take this action. And if there is this, you can take that as well. You're never forced to. And these are going to give you different types of actions that I'll go over in just a moment. However, let's say this player, I don't care. I want to go somewhere else. They're going to be basically going to the next thing, and now it's like you're going around a rondel. Now, whenever it gets to the next spot, always in order from front to back, this player can decide to, again, jump off here, get this, and or use that action. Maybe they decide to do it. Maybe they don't. If they decide not to do it, like let's say they did that, this player has 2 choices. They can either jump to the outer ring of here and again take this and or do this action, or they can jump on the clock because maybe they want to do an action a little bit later. So let's say now it's going to go here. Again, this player can act, and let's say that they don't want to do anything. So then it's this player's turn. They can decide to do something. Let's say they didn't want to do anything. Now it goes to the people that are here. Now here they're sort of tied. They're in this inner ring. That's essentially where people will be at the end of the round, so to speak, or at the beginning of the game. And there's a little clever way that like red's gonna have the initiative, then white, then blue in this round. So let's say white's like, nope, I don't want to jump here and take this and or do this. I want to jump on the clock. Well, this clock hand scales with the amount of players. This is for 3 players. It's empty with 4, and there's even a bigger one for 2 players. This player now could say, I could jump here and get this and or this action, or jump on. And here's where it gets really interesting. Now, it probably wouldn't do this because it's its own little guy here, but sometimes you could purposely bounce off other players. For example, maybe it looked like this, and this player's like, I kind of want this, but I know this person's about to do a delivery and get a bunch of points. I can decide to hop on. And when you hop on, it is going to push this one off. Now, when this happens, this player can either go to this outer ring space where it was bumped, and again, take this and or do this, or if it's bumped, it can also go to the one just before it as well as a consolation. So they could do this and or this. So let's say they just like, okay, cool, I'll take this. So let's show you how this works. So this player is going to collect this. Now, all these mice look a little different. For example, the one that I was just showing you on the board is this one. Now, so some of these have some special abilities. So first of all, if they want to, they can take this, because it's there, and they can place it just like this. They can hold up to 4. Again, you're going to be trying to deliver those for points. Now they can take this action. Now, this little search action here, it shows 1, is they can randomly take one of these from the bag. However, this mouse's special ability is anytime it does that action, which is take one from the bag, it can take an additional one and choose one. So he drew these two. Great. He took this one because it's going to help because you want to have like colors and like symbols. This one goes back in the bag, so that's already using a special ability. If you're using this one, when you jump off the hand, instead of just going to that space, you can go up to 2 spaces clockwise, getting to something faster than someone else. This one just has a really big bag, can hold more. This is a worker that you'll get later. He'll be able to go anywhere when you get him, which is why he's small, he jumps around fast, but he holds less. So this is essentially how it works. Everyone here is done. We already checked these. We go here. If nobody wants to do anything, you would go to the next one and then go through that priority, doing all of what I just talked about. So let me talk about some of these other actions. This one has a 3 and a chain, which goes up that chain with the weight that I showed you earlier, like a little score track. This allows you to get a favor card. Now you actually start with one of these secretly at the beginning of the game. It's going to have an acorn on it for a starter card. And again, they do different things. You could use this to go up 2 on that chain score track, or use this as this resource when you deliver. This one allows you to get your other worker that I just talked about. And when you do that, you get to place them anywhere and take the action. Or you get to do this, which is moving 1 to 3 from the hand instead of just the 1. Or you could use these to deliver. So these are just like little one-time actions. Once you use either one of these, it gets discarded. Some of these spots allow you to spend a certain amount. This one allows you to go up the chain 2 on that score track, but then you can also spend any 2 resources to go to the web. And this allows you to take any 2 of these normal ones from the discount bin, or take 1 wild, which again can be any color or any symbol. It's very flexible in scoring. So let's talk about delivering. There's 2 spots where you can deliver, and they're always going to be at 6 o'clock and 11 o'clock. A lot of these other tiles are going to be somewhat semi-randomly each game. So here you can deliver for points. So let's say this mouse, now they wouldn't be able to do it this turn because I already moved, but let's say next round this player got to a delivery spot. They could deliver all these. What you do is you get 1 point for each, which is 1, 2, 3, and then 1 point for each of the most color. There's 2 of these, so now we're up to 5, and then 1 point for each of the ones that's the most symbol. We have 2 of these. So it's 1, 2, 3, and then we go colors, 4, 5, and then symbols, 6, 7. So 7 points, and there's a tile that's out on the board that shows you this. However, there is a super duper handy little calculator app. You don't need it, but it will help you double check things. Now you don't even have to download this, it's just a web page. But let's say I entered these 3 things in, I said equals 7 points. There you go, it does it. You can tell it whether you have a wild or this and that. Really clever. Again, I don't typically need it, but if you want to double check, it's good to have. There's also open quests. And this is, hey, if you delivered this and this, you'll get an additional 5 points. This is like this symbol of any color, that symbol again of any color, and that symbol of any color. 7 points if you did that. If you did one of these, you'd get the points. This does not refill to the end of the round. And points are tracked on the bottom of the clock here. Now let's say we're getting towards the end of the round. Let's say this player, let's say we're in like the second round, had one of these on their board from a previous round. There's only 3 of these special things. They're relic. Let's say they had it in his bag. This person decided to jump on here. No one else is here, it would tick. No one else is here, it would tick. Then they go here. This is the cuckoo, the Lord Cuckoo here. Now this allows you to put a relic here. You get 5 points and a favor card, and you get to jump 1, 2, or 3 spots and make that action. That's pretty cool. It's one interesting way to use one of these clever things, and this is always at 12 o'clock. But this is going to be the end of the round because it's at it's at the 12 here. You're going to do a lot of cleanup, moving everybody to the inside ring and refreshing the market tiles and the quests and things like that, and setting up another round. Then, starting at the end of the first round and every round after that, you'll roll a 10-sided die. The only 2 numbers it can't be are 11 or 12, but you might end up blocking a spot or 2. And with 4 players, you only put 1 of these out. This blocks those spots for the next round. It's one part of the game I do not like. I feel like the game's already tight enough and you don't need the game hitting you up. All your planning and tightness goes away, especially if this happens on a key tile, like a delivery tile, at the end of the last round. Pretty much the game, once it would have gotten to the end of the game here at midnight, the game would end and you do final scoring. And at the end of the game, again, you're going to get 5 points for every row and column completed, but you're also going to be able to pull together all of your other mice's goods and deliver these all at once. They don't go to your board, but you'll still score them as if this was one big delivery. Whoever has the most points at the end is the winner. Now, before I get to the review, I want to let you know that if you enjoy my content on my channel and you want to get some bonus content and help the channel at the same time, I recently started a Patreon page where you can get all sorts of bonus exclusive material like first impressions videos. And many times I do it on games I won't just end up reviewing at all. You can also vote on which games I review. You can get stuff early, lots of different things. So check it out at patreon.com/GameBoyGeek. All right, this game has some fantastic theming and art and production. It looks awesome. It feels awesome. Even like the little azul tiles that you use as the tokens, pulling down the clock weight as you go up for the bonus tracks. It's just beautiful. They were just so well thought out. So many parts of this game. Mechanically speaking, this is a very unique and clever worker placement and rondel combo with a very interesting puzzle. You're trying to figure out, okay, do I want to ride this hand till I get to something else? Do I want to take the guy with the big bag that can hold the most stuff and ride this past a bunch of people and trade goods and have them give stuff to me so I could be the main one to deliver things? Do I want to wait a little bit? If I wait too long, if I wait to the next hand, the other person's big person is going to jump on, which might push me off earlier, either right then or earlier than I want to. I might not be able to get to where I'm going to get to. So in that case, I might want to jump off now and get this. It's just so clever. The way that the worker placement works of jumping on or off the, first people jump off the hand and get the stuff that's outside. Well, if somebody took that tile, maybe I can take the action, but it's not as great. Maybe I wait. But if I wait, the player that's on the inside might jump on and push me off. It's a puzzle. It is a really interesting puzzle that combines worker placement and rondels. I love both of those mechanisms. I can't say that I've seen a more interesting mix of those two mechanisms. I'm sure there's games out there that have done worker placement and rondels. I think like Milestones was one of those, an older Stronghold game. There's plenty of them that have been out there, but I don't think anyone has done it in this interesting way. This set collection scoring is really cool. It's like, hey, one for each piece that's the color of the most, and one for each icon that's the color of the most. Wilds count as both. And then after that, you're putting it on your hunt map and you're trying to do rows and columns. It's awesome. It's like set collection and then abstract set collection and abstract, putting them down. I also like the scoring's pretty easy. It's not too hard, but they do have an app available that shows you you just type in the icons you have and it just spits out how many points you get if you don't want to do all the calculating. I didn't think the calculating was that hard, but if you want to double check, it's a cool way to do that. I like that you can trade tokens between mice. It's really good. It's a big part of the game is moving the mice around and then moving this one here and trading this one with this, then going this and trading this one with that, and then knowing which one to deliver because you're making these sets and you're trying to get all these points and they're all going to go onto your hunt board, hopefully if they fit. And so I really like that trading aspect. I like the objective and favor cards. I mean, you have these quests that are open that everyone can see, then you have the favor cards that are secret. Now the quests are cool because not only are you trying to go for things that will get you points, colors and icons together, but also fitting on your hunt map in the right way, but you're also looking to get ones that get even more points for doing the objectives. So maybe you just want to deliver 2 of them because you can get, or 2 or 3 because you can get that, but maybe you want to get more, 4 or 5 with the guy with the big bag to really get bigger points. And it's this little push and pull, and you can look around and see what other players are collecting, and you can see, are they going for this too? But then you have those favor cards that are like little special actions that you can flip over and do, and that's great. Some of these are awesome. You can move up the big point track on the weight, or you can add it as a good when you deliver. But my favorite is the throw, because trading is really cool, and throwing allows you to basically trade goods with any one of your mice once. It's really cool. It really helps with the set collection and such. I like, again, earlier I talked about the clock hand, how unique it is, and it's really cool that you can or will be possibly knocked off, and just the fact that it possibly could happen, and the way that it scales, where with 4 players, the hand's wide open. With 3 or 2 players, it scales, so it feels tight. I like the special abilities of the mice. Some of them can jump further, some can hold more, some of them you get and you can place anywhere when you first get them, and then you have an extra worker. I like the semi-randomized setup for replayability. Some of them, like the 6 and the 11 and the 12, I forget which other ones, are there every time, and the other ones are sort of random. Gives you a little bit of random thing. Overall, this game was pleasant and thinky, but not too thinky. It's like medium. Some heavy gamers might even call this light medium, but it's medium. Anything negative? No game's perfect, so let's talk about what I had issues with in this game. The front cover, I love it. However, it might mislead some people. It's not a kid's game, and it's not a Mice and Mystics expansion, which you might think about when you look at the cover of this game. It looks a lot more kiddie than it really is. So that's it. If you know going in what you're getting into, you'll be fine. But the game's awesome. The other thing is the cat tokens, blocking places. I don't like this as much. The game's already pretty tight. And to add these cat tokens in a random spot, maybe 2 or 1 if you're playing with 4 players, can really crush you. Because you got to be really efficient in this game. It's really tight. It's hard to come by all these points. And like in my last game, I had the perfect thing to deliver the perfect thing to get the quest and finish my board. It was going to finish 1 row and 1 column. That's 10 points at the end. And I had this whole plan, and because the last die roll of the round, the cat paw went on 6 o'clock, which was one of the delivery spots, I couldn't end up delivering it because it was the big person with all the bags, and they jumped on, and now that delivery spot was closed, and now he had to wait till he got to 11 o'clock, but by the time he got there, he got bumped off. And it's like, I did all this planning to get all this stuff there, and because of a random dice roll, it screwed up a huge amount of the point scoring in this game. I don't like the randomness of the cat thing. I think that should basically be like an advanced variant. Hey, if you want to be even harder and you want it to be even tighter, use the cat thing. I didn't like it. You might like it, so it's even super tight, but I didn't like it. The higher player counts add more time to the game, but I don't feel like they necessarily add a whole lot more. It makes it tougher. It makes it tighter. Now, the minute hand scales for player count, so that feels the same. But like being the first to a place, you get the token that's there, right? More players, there's going to be less times you get it. So you're getting less stuff, it's more tight, you can get less done, and it's not quite as fun. For me, 2 players is the best way to play this game because it feels tight. On the clock hand, you can still get bumped, but everything else feels a little bit more open. 3 might be like a sweet spot if you're not sure. I felt like 4 just adds too much time. And once you know the game, you can do this in 20 to 25 minutes per player. So you really could play this, definitely less than 2 hours once everyone knows what they're doing. The 2-player game could take 40, 45 minutes once you both know what you're doing. So you could play this in 90 minutes with 4 players, maybe even a little faster for everyone know what they're doing. But still, for me, it just adds time. It doesn't necessarily add that much interestingness to it. But that's just me. Your mileage may vary. I think 2 players is the best. 3 might be a nice sweet spot for some, or maybe even most. I might be on the light side of this. But overall, with that being said, this game is fantastic. I like it. It's got a crazy, interesting puzzle that I've never seen before with a great production. I think a lot of people are going to like this. That is Hickory Dickory. It's been the Game Boy Geek, breaking down barriers, growing relations through board games, and helping you on the next one you'll love. Game Toppers not only transforms your existing table into a high-quality gaming solution, but they now offer full leg kits and dining cover solutions for the full table application. Paired with over 20 styles of thematic game mats in 11 different sizes from notable board game artists like Vincent Dutray, collapsible cup holders, and real cool accessories, experience what thousands of other gamers enjoy by upgrading every game you play with a Game Topper system. Save hundreds of dollars on Game Topper package deals that are in stock now for immediate shipping at GameToppersLLC.com or click the link below.